Good evening, sports fans. Thank God it is Friday, end of the work week. She knows. She feels it. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder with a comeback for the ages to move just one win away from advancing to the second round of the NBA playoffs. Plus updates, more updates that is, from the first round as the LA Clippers and that wall, whoop, and the New York Knicks take the lead in their respective series.
We felt the thank God it's Friday. We felt the
More than
emphasis from
anything.
Andre. And the Petrogas Angels try to keep the Philippines alive in the AVC Women's Champions League. We've got the latest from their knockout match in the quarterfinals.
What a way to end the show, though. Packed Friday for you. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Calao.
And here's tonight's play-by-play.
Ramiro, the show by Mamoy. Puts it on. On the left side. Oh, the pass! Stopping another one! Bakulas rejecting Estevo for the
Well, let's kick things off with the Oklahoma City Thunder as they are now on the verge of sweeping the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's all thanks to a historic come-from-behind victory in Game 3 of their first round series. Whew. Top seeds of the West rallied from as many as 29 points down to come up with a 114-108 win and take a 3-0 lead now in this best-of-7 series. The Thunder outscored the Grizz 63-31 in the second half to pull off the second largest postseason comeback of the play-by-play era. Leading the way, who else? Of course, it was MVP frontrunner Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had 31 points and 8 assists. Jalen Williams adding 26 markers, while Chet Holmgren chipped in 24 points with 23 coming in the second half. The Grizzlies' strong start in the game did take a huge hit when Ja Morant hurt his left hip after a hard fall off a failed dunk attempt. The unfortunate incident happened with about 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Morant got up, shot and missed 2 free throws, left the game limping, and did not return. Morant finishing with 15 points. Scottie Pippen Jr. tried to carry the Grizz with 28 points in a losing effort. Game 4 of this first round matchup stays in Memphis, and tip-off will be on Sunday at 3:30 in the morning, Manila time. Here's Holmgren already locked in for a possible sweep by the Thunder.
Man, the best game, my favorite game is always the next game. We came out here, it wasn't pretty, they hit us first, but we did what we had to do, came away with the win. Now we gotta get ready for game 4.
Who was the voice of reason when you go down by 29, no panic, you stay together, and you go on that defensive run?
Man, it's a team mentality. It's no one person. You know, everybody's voice holds the same amount of weight in that locker room, and everybody was saying something. We were all communicating, and then we came out and we cleaned it up.
Game 2, you established the paint blocking shots. Tonight, you knocked down 5 big threes. Take us through the flow of the game for you.
Man, it wasn't pretty early on. You know, we were playing football damn near all night, pardon my language, but, you know, just had to adjust. You know, they called it both ways. You know, as long as they call it both ways, that's how I like it. You know, tight, call it loose, it don't matter. But we had fun.
Appreciate you, big fella.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Ja Morant is scheduled to get further evaluation on his hip injury Friday in the U.S. As great as the Thunder's comeback was against the Grizzlies, it's undeniable that Morant's exit turned out to be a big what-if in Game 3. Not only did Morant score 15 points all in the first half, but he also shot 54% from the field, dished out 5 assists, and was a plus 16 in just 15 and a half minutes of play. When Ja got hurt, the score was 67-40 in favor of Memphis. Here's the Grizzlies head coach Thomas Isalo commenting on Morant's injury and its overall effect during Game 3.
I thought we did a great job fighting for 48 minutes, but against this team, it's not enough to fight. You also have to be able to execute.
Which hip did Ja injure, and what is the nature of that injury? What do you know about that injury at this point?
He's going through further evaluations tomorrow, and then we'll know more.
Which hip?
I don't know. I just know hip.
How much do you think Ja's injury kind of affected the energy of the team going into the second half?
I would say quite drastically from the end result, but not only the energy, but also the execution.
Well, from one injured superstar to another, Jimmy Butler's appearance in Game 3 between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets is in serious jeopardy. Reports say the Warriors forward has been diagnosed with a deep glute muscle contusion. MRI results showed no fracture or structural damage, but his playing status remains questionable. Jimmy Buckets got hurt in the first quarter of Game 2. He, too, suffered a bad fall when he was undercut by Houston's Amen Thompson during a rebound play. Without Butler the rest of the way, the Warriors fell to the Rockets 109-104, leveling the series at a game apiece. In Game 1 playoff, Jimmy came up big with 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals to help the Dubs claim the victory 95-85. Game 3 will take place in San Francisco on Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Philippine time.
After 2 close battles, the Los Angeles Clippers pulverized the Denver Nuggets in Game 3 of their first round series. The first ever playoff game at the Intuit Dome turned out to be an absolute treat for the home crowd, with the Clips notching a huge win, 117-83. The Clips went on a 23-2 run in the first half and never looked back. Kawhi Leonard followed up his 39-point outing in Game 2 with a double-double of 21 markers and 11 rebounds. James Harden and Norman Powell added 20 points apiece. Ivica Zubac provided inside muscle for the Clips as he chipped in 19 markers and 9 boards. Nuggets center Nikola Jokic had 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 13 assists, but his triple-double was hardly felt. LA now leads the series 2-1. Game 4 will remain at the Intuit Dome this Sunday at 6 a.m. Philippine time. Here's Kawhi Leonard talking about the Clippers' point of attack against the Nugs.
Just attacking the paint, being aggressive, trusting our teammates, passing them the open shot, and we knocked it down tonight.
Obviously, first game where you guys were able to come out, take big command early. You had 21 points, 11 rebounds. When defenses are committed to stopping you, how are you still able to make plays?
Just being aggressive. It's not about me scoring. I got to make plays with my team. They're going to put 2 on the ball. It's going to mean somebody's going to be wide open, and, that's the name of the game.
First playoff game ever at Intuit Dome. What did you think of the atmosphere tonight?
It was great tonight. Everybody came out. The wall was great, cheering all night, and let's see what we got on Saturday.
Coming up, just a day after being named Clutch Player of the Year, Knicks star Jalen Brunson comes through again as New York retakes the lead in their first round series with the Detroit Pistons. That and more when play-by-play returns. And we're back. Thank you for joining us here on Play by Play only on One News. The New York Knicks are back in the driver's seat after holding off the Detroit Pistons in Game 3 of their first round series. The Knicks were ahead for the most part and were able to weather several rallies by Detroit. But the game wasn't decided until the final buzzer, with New York leading by just one. With half a second left, Jalen Brunson hit a free throw before intentionally missing the second one. The ball had to be inbounded, though, because the buzzer sounded prematurely without anyone touching the ball. But it didn't really matter, as the Pistons weren't able to get a shot off after Jalen Duren turned the ball over in the inbound pass. Final score, 118 to 116. Brunson once again proving why he is a clutch player of the year in the NBA. He scored 12 of his 30 points in the fourth, including timely layups down the stretch to keep his team ahead. His co-star, Karl Anthony Towns, provided the damage early, scoring 11 of his 31 markers in the first quarter. New York now leads the best-of-7 series 2-1. Game 4 will be still in Detroit on Monday, 1 a.m. Philippine time. Here's Detroit's head coach, J.B. Bickerstaff, talking about the frustrating loss and their mindset moving forward as they try to avoid a 3-1 hole.
It's frustrating, excuse me, for a bunch of different reasons. I thought in the second half we played well enough to win the game. There's some procedural things that we've got questions on. I thought we did a really good job, defensively. It allowed us to get out and transition, play the way we want to play offensively. So we just continue to build off of that.
Tobias Harris has obviously had a big role in this series. Today they were able to lock him up until about 5 minutes to go in the game. What were they able to do to effectively take him out of your offense?
He was on the bench in foul trouble, right? That, to me, was the difference. In the game, you look at it, he's a plus 10 when he's on the floor. But it's hard to be impactful when you're sitting on the bench. We won't be deflated. Our guys are too committed to one another. We're not results driven. We'll show up Sunday and we're going to lay it on the line. We're going to fight like hell and see what happens.
As for the Defensive Player of the Year, well, that honor goes to Cleveland Cavaliers big man Evan Mobley. The fourth-year forward center edged out Atlanta's Dyson Daniels and Golden State's Draymond Green to become the fifth youngest player to nab the Hakeem Olajuwon Trophy. Mobley finished with 285 total points, almost 100 more than runner-up Daniels. This season, the 23-year-old was sixth in blocks with 1.59 rejections a game and contested 10 shots a game, third most among qualified players. When he's on the floor, the Cavs as a team have a defensive rating of 108.6, good for number 2 in the league. Additionally, the first-time All-Star won the Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month twice in December and February. Overall, Mobley averaged 18.5 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 3.2 assists, helping the Cavs get their second-best record in franchise history and the number 1 seed in the East this season.
Meantime, from the NBA, let's go to the PBA back here at home. The Blackwater Bossing finally entered the win column in the PBA Philippine Cup after blowing out the Northport Batampier. After a really tight first half, the Bossing asserted themselves in the third period, unleashing a 19-6 run. This enabled them to push a 2-point lead into a 15-point advantage in the middle of the third. The lead then ballooned further to more than 20 points come the payoff period, and it proved too much to overcome for Northport. Final score here, 120 for Blackwater, 98 for the Batampier. The Bossing backed on a balanced effort with 6 players scoring in double figures, led by 20 markers from Cedric Bearfield. The Bossing improved to a 1-2 win-loss record, while the Batampier dropped their second straight game and are also at 1-2. Here's Bossing head coach, the Jet, Jeffrey Carriazo, and player of the game, RK Ilaga.
I think it's really just, because we got our butts kicked a little bit the first 2 games, we wanted to take advantage of the 12 days in between games. And for the most part, it wasn't perfect at practice, a lot of challenges, but guys never stopped working hard, So the simple focus is go back to the drawing board and push more, get better. And today it showed. The things that stand out to me the most is we were pretty much competitive or even with the rebounds, which is something we lost majorly in the first two games, and then we had our conference high with 24 assists. So when you share the ball, move the ball, good things happen, and then hopefully this is the start of them really, truly buying in and understanding that. You know, it makes life easier for one another when you play together.
Meanwhile, in the main game, it's a battle between sister teams, the San Miguel Beermen and Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. The Beermen jumped to a quick 11-2 lead to start the game and continued their dominance throughout the opening frame. The first quarter ended with SMB ahead 25-11 as the Kraken, Junmar Fajardo and Jericho Cruz scoring 6 points apiece. The Gin Kings remained flat in the second period as the Beermen continued to push the lead with their steady offense. At the half, it's SMB still ahead 48-30. San Miguel is looking to bounce back from their first loss in 3 games, while Ginebra looks to keep their good start to the new conference.
Moving on to volleyball, the Petrogas Angels look to keep the Philippines' hopes alive in the 2025 AVC Women's Champions League. The Angels are taking on China's Beijing Baik Motors in the knockout quarterfinals after nearly pulling off the first set victory. Petrogas stormed past Baik Motor in the second frame 25-19. The Angels also took the third set 25-20. The fourth set is currently ongoing. The winner of this match will head to the semifinals where they will face Vietnam's VTV Binh Dien Long An. In UAAP volleyball, crucial games are on tap in the final weekend of the elimination round.
Well, the final forecast for both the men's and the women's tournaments may be complete, but some seedings have yet to be finalized. That's the exciting part. Let's take a look at the schedule now on your screens. As you can see, tomorrow we start with the Ateneo Blue Eagles and the UE Red Warriors, both looking to end their season strong as they clash at 9 a.m. Then at 11 a.m., the FEU Tamaraos and the DLSU Green Spikers go head-to-head in a possible preview of a semi-showdown. In the afternoon, let's take a look. The Ateneo Lady Eagles battle the winless Lady Warriors at 1 p.m. And closing out the games on Saturday, we've got an all-important matchup for you between the FEU Lady Tams and the DLSU Lady Spikers. That will be at 3 in the afternoon.
The action continues on Sunday in the men's division. The NU Bulldogs meet the UST Golden Spikers at 9 a.m. Then the UP Fighting Maroons battle the Adamson Soaring Falcons at 11 a.m. In the women's side, it's the UP Fighting Maroons against the Adamson Lady Falcons at 1 p.m. And then capping the elimination round, it will be the NU Lady Bulldogs against the UST Golden Tigresses at 5 p.m. NU is already assured of the top seed and a twice-to-beat advantage in the women's Final Four. The race for the other twice-to-beat is among the other 3 teams, LaSalle, UST, and FEU. Should the Lady Spikers and Golden Tigresses both win their weekend matchups, there will be a playoff for the number 2 spot, turning the battle between the 2nd and 3rd seed into a virtual best-of-3. In men's volleyball, FEU and NU have locked up the top 2 spots and the twice-to-beat edge. UST and LaSalle have also clinched Final Four berths, but this weekend's results will determine who gets the 3rd seed. If both teams secure a win, a quotient will determine who will get the number 3 seed. You can catch all the intense UAAP action live on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and the UAAP Varsity channel, or stream it on the Pilipinas Live app. Coming up, we tell you about the rematch between Alex Ayala and Iga Swiatek. Find out how the 19-year-old Filipina tennis star fared as she took on the world number 2 yet again. Play-by-play will be right back on One News. Welcome back. You're watching Play-by-Play on One News. No repeat for Alex Ayala as she took on Iga Swiatek again, this time in the second round of the WTA 1000 Madrid Open. The Filipina tennis star showed her signature grit on the clay courts of Manolo Santana Stadium. Ayala snatched the first set, but Swiatek showed why she's the tournament's defending champion and eventually claimed the win in 3, 4-6, 6-4, 6-2. This was a rematch of their exciting Miami Open showdown last March when Ayala stunned the four-time Grand Slam champion in straight sets. Ayala has yet to announce where her next tournament will be before the French Open begins on May 25.
Great news for basketball fans, not just NBA fans, because we've got the PBA and the NBA for you tonight in the highlight reel. Before we end the work week, let's roll it and start, of course, in the PBA. It's Northport Blackwater. As we said earlier, Blackwater with a big win. Look at William Navarro sizing up new bossing Abu Tratter. Up fake, another fake again. Woo! Count the basket. Magumar John, may kasama pang foul. With under 8 minutes to play in the second period, what a move by the former Blue Eagle. Up fake one. Gets the bait, gets the foul, and boom, there it is. Basket's good for William Navarro. Navarro, by the way, 24 points, 11 rebounds for Northport. Big game for him. But the bottom pair, unfortunately, as we said, got blown out by the guys in red. Blackwater bossing wins here, 120-98. Okay, from the PBA, punta tayo NBA playoffs. Let's start with the Pistons and the Knicks and Detroit. Kay Cunningham running on his right. Malik Beasley for the slam, pointing to OG Anunoby. Saan si Odi? Woo! What's OG Anunoby, anong ginagawa mo? Look at campaign. That was smart. That was really smart, getting out of the way of the streaking Beasley. We know he's a shooter. We didn't know he has that, the hops and the poster to boot against Anunoby. Big play there. But Beasley, you know him. He has some intensity. 12 points for him in this game. Okay, now same game, but this time from the other side. Punta tayo sa New York. Karl Anthony Towns showing, some fancy moves like a guard for a 7-footer against Jalen Duren too. Take a look at that spin cycle. Bump, count the basket using the glass in for Big Cat. That's why he's an all-star. Knicks win this one too. Close one, 118-116. Cat finishing with 31 points, 8 rebounds, bouncing back from his 10-point outing in Game 2. The Knicks regain control of this series, 2-1. Game 4 also be in Motor City. Okay, now punta tayo sa West. Game 3, Clippers and the Nuggets. Great dome here, Intuit Dome. Look at Kawhi spotting Derrick Jones Jr. Look at the defense. Jokic looking at Kawhi, then sees, good spot there by the claw to Derrick Jones Jr. And look at Aaron Gordon, naisahan siya doon, two-handed flush by DJJ Leonard, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. DJJ chipping in 10 markers off the bench. The Clips, by the way, beat the Nuggets 117-83, blowout win too, to take a 2-1 series lead. Finally, let's go to the Thunder and the Grizz. Game 3. What a game. What a comeback for OKC. But Scottie Pippen, and look at the steal. Give me that, says Alex Caruso. Dort dives, gets fouled with 39 ticks to go. OKC ahead, 111-108. After being down by as many as 29 points in this one of the biggest comebacks in NBA playoff history. Of course, thanks to Alex Caruso with that crucial defensive stop to keep the win with OKC. Now they're up 3-0 in this series. Caruso, by the way, 10 points, 4 steals. That's one of them. Also a block. Defensive impact just immeasurable here for Alex Caruso. Thunder beat the Grizz 114-108 after, again, being down by 29 big ones. What an historic win. Now, also, it happened in Memphis. OKC now on the verge of sweeping the Grizzlies. Check.
Is OG okay? It's okay. And before we go, stage 2 of the Tour of Luzon ends with some drama. Standard Insurance Philippines was declared the winner of stage 2 after an official recount. The team time trial saw Standard Insurance clock in at 1 hour, 22 minutes and 31 seconds. This was just enough to edge out fierce rivals Go for Gold Philippines and 7-Eleven Click Road Bike Philippines. Ronald Oranza, George Ocaner, Junrey Navarra, and Jeremy Lizardo led the way. Only the top 4 riders per team count towards the stage time in this leg of the race. Initially, 7-Eleven was announced as stage winner, but a final tally pushed them to 3rd, just behind Go for Gold, who took 2nd by virtue of a faster top 3. The tour now heads to the coastal town of San Juan, La Union for stage 3.
Grabe, no, exciting here at Tour of Luzon. What a drama there.
Drama.
Wow, that's all. That's what you love about sports. Kahit ano pa yan, volleyball, golf, billiards, basketball.
You think it's set, but it's not.
Oh, laging may drama. Yun yung parang nanonood ka ng ano eh. It's just like a thriller,
yes.
right? Uy, biglang may comeback. Yung NBA nga lang eh, 29-point comeback by OKC. But that's all from us tonight and the whole week. And we'll see you again on Monday, 8:30 p.m. for a play-by-play of the day's top sports stories.
Play-by-play is on One News, that's Signal TV Channel 8 on SD and Channel 250 on HD. We are also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
Say it with me. Thank God it's Friday. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Lutuncalaw. Thank you for watching. Good night. Happy weekend.
Yes.